Thank you so much for coming to Agile Vancouver, and it's a great pleasure for us to be presenting, and especially the last presentation. Uh, I am Rupmeet Singh. I'm from Optimus Information, and Larry from Quick Mobile. Brief background about Optimus QA. We are one of the largest testing service providers in Western Canada. Our headquarters is in Vancouver, and we have offices in Toronto as well as in New Delhi. We provide end-to-end testing services, manual testing, test automation, and we provide test automation services on web, desktop, as well as mobile applications. One of our key services is testing as a service. If you would like to learn more about that, I'm open to discussion post this presentation. We work with 80 plus customers, and we have done about 400 plus projects. So we bring that kind of experience as well as exposure to the amazing testing projects. So this is a short agenda for today. We would be going over these points, might not necessarily too deep or might not necessarily too at a very high level. However, we would be happy to answer any questions in between or after the presentation. And before we go deeper into this technical stuff, I would like to share a video and see what Apple has to discuss about its recent acquisition.
Since 1976, Apple Computers has been changing the world in which we live in. It's true. We have been an enormous success. And now, I'm happy to report that we have $150 billion.
Today, Apple is proud to announce that we have officially bought Beats by Dre for $3.2 billion.
We still have about $147 billion left, and folks, we got a lot of fun stuff we're gonna buy.
Apple is pleased to announce our purchase of Kohler toilets for $13 billion.
Why does Apple Computers spend $13 billion on a toilet company? Who cares? We still have $134 billion left over.
I saw a very nice sweater at Fred Siegel last week, so Apple acquired it.
This woman, Karen, who I think Tim Cook met like late night at a Denny's, comes in with him on Monday and is now like buying companies, like making the buying decisions for Apple Computers.
Did you know that you can actually buy the company Amazon.com through Amazon.com?
That brought Apple Computers' net worth to $106,999,643.
I don't know what's going on with this company anymore. It feels like everybody has gone crazy.
I'm a big fan of Totino's pizza rolls, so we bought the company for $27 billion. Do you see what we're doing here? We're buying everything.
The guys that have worked here for years, I look them in the eyes and I don't see anybody looking back.
Is this true? Are we giving an ape?
Since Steve's death, I think that we're floundering. We're a company based on the vision of one man, and I don't know that we know what we're doing anymore.
We bought some DVDs too. I got Howard Stern private parts.
All right, so here is just a gesture to see that these companies like Apple, Google, they are making lots of acquisitions, and that is creating a lot of chaos for testers to test those applications on these different devices, these different add-ons on the mobile devices and stuff. So when we meet with a lot of professionals like you, these are the frequently asked questions that we see that I've listed down over here. If you feel that there are more questions or if we have missed something, please let us know, and we will try to capture in our presentation. Anyone would like to add more questions to this list? All right. Starting with this question for you guys. How many of you have had problems with mobile applications in past 6 months? Please raise your hands. Thank you. And if so, then what are those types of challenges or problems you have faced?
Performance, one of them.
Okay. How, like when you're saying performance, define performance.
It's like non-defined.
Load the application on your
Load the
phone.
application.
Anyone else? I see lot.
Or you can run platform but not together, like not rendering or not showing
Okay.
the object properly.
Okay.
Some applications not working on new devices.
Perfect. I see lots of hands at the back.
Just doesn't do what you expect it to do.
So basically functionality, if I would say. All right. So I think this slide has covered almost each points that you have mentioned here. So there was a survey that was done recently, and like audience like you, they have said 56% have said yes, they have faced the challenges or problems in the with the mobile applications. And out of those 56% audiences or the people whom the survey was done, these were the major challenges that they faced. 62% said that the mobile application crashed or it freezed while loading it up. I hope everyone, or most of you guys would have faced the same similar thing once in a lifetime, I would say. Then the slowness of the application, the point that you mentioned, which is 47%. And sometimes the mobile application won't even launch. I don't know who created that. And the functionality point, so that is also covered here, which is 37%. Some examples from the industry. So the slowness of the mobile applications. This is from the recent article from CompuWare. They have mentioned because of the slowness of the applications, the industry is facing issues with the revenue generation, or there are a lot of challenges they are facing in that. So that is again related to your performance fail. The performance of the application is not up to the mark. In the banking industry, one of the most important thing is audit. So the bank industry, they had a lot of applications that mobile applications that had to be audited, and it was realized that 25% of them, they were failing in the audit. So it was a security issue there. Citibank in 2012, their iPad app was charging twice or thrice or multiple times to their for the same transaction. So here you see the functionality of the application was not tested well. So fact is that by next year, 182.7 billion mobile apps will be downloaded by consumers or users like you and me, and we may face the similar kind of challenges next year. So why mobile applications or the testing of the mobile applications is different than traditional applications like web or desktop based? The key thing is the environment, the mobile application where it resides. There's a hardware, hardware in the OS. So if you see the CPU size of your mobile device is I would say is comparatively smaller than your, say, desktop or laptop or using the web applications. The memory, where the memory leakages and all other issues that happens, that is coming because of the smaller memory that you have on your mobile devices. Display. Many devices are there in the market now. Every month or every quarter, some or the other organization or the company is coming out with a new mobile device. Okay. Keyboards and touch functionality. Some mobile applications, they have hard keyboards like BlackBerry. Some have the touch functionality like Samsung or say Apple. And few other devices like Samsung Galaxy Note 3, you have the stylus to do regular functions. So if you, just coming to an example here, so I was going deeper into it. So I thought, let me pick up a normal website called Wikipedia that everyone would have used. So I logged into my computer and opened a browser and did wikipedia.com, and here it is. Then I thought, okay, how this app would look how would this page would look in the mobile app, say on my iPhone 4S. So this is how it looked. So the display has been squeezed to this small screen. Fantastic. So I thought, okay, this is a pretty image. Let me click on it. So first I did this test on the web browser. So I was pointed towards this image on the web browser. The same thing, the same step I followed on the mobile app. Here I got this message. So you can test the same thing on your mobile app. This is an iPhone 4S that I have used to test, and you will face the similar bug at this point of time. So I thought, might be this is an issue with the iOS app. So I thought, let me try with Samsung, the Android one. Again, the same error message. So see, the mobile environment, the mobile app which is in the mobile environment is, even though they are in two different devices, they are showing these kind of errors. So another challenge that the mobile application environment we have is the power and the bandwidth, as well as the network issues. So that means a mobile application would behave differently if, let's say, the battery is full as compared to when the battery is, say, half, or it's about to die. The other challenges would be in terms of network. Let's say if you are traveling in a bus in a remote location, your mobile application would behave differently. I did a simple test of refreshing the Groupon app on my phone. So I would like to show you a video here. So in the first test, what I have done, it had the Wi-Fi on, as well as it was using the cellular data. The second test which I did, it had the Wi-Fi off and was using cellular data. So have you seen the difference between the refresh timing? I can play it once again. So the second one took more time. Same app, if you even see the time on the phone, 8:52. So this is done at the same day, same time, and tested at the same location. So there was a difference here. Now, not only the complexity of these mobile devices are limited to the battery or, say, screen sizes and stuff, there are some special functionalities as well. Location. So I was at my home in downtown, and I thought, okay, let me go to Starbucks. I clicked on it, the Starbucks store location, and it was showing me the Optimus location, surprisingly, and it took so much time to load. And later on, I got this information. Then I thought, okay, let me try another phone and see how does it look on Galaxy Note 3. And I tried to search. So when I was doing this search on the Galaxy Note 3, I realized there are these digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, and to 0, as well as the alphabets there. I was like, it doesn't make any sense why these digits pop up in this Starbucks app on the Samsung device. However, on 4S, it's not there. It's the same app on on Samsung Galaxy, which is an Android, on the Android app, is behaving differently when the same app is on the Starbucks app, which is on 4S. Then I realized here it is postal code, so you can use the postal code as well to do the search for the specific location of the store in Samsung, which is not there in the 4S side. I hope everyone over here would be using or familiar with the barcode scanning functionality, or would be using it on daily basis? Or how many of you are using it? That would be an appropriate question. And the most common application would be Starbucks. So in this example, what you're seeing here, your device or your mobile app has the barcode, which you scan it and show it to the scanner at the Starbucks location. How many of you have used apps which scans the barcode? Please, can you name?
I don't know what it's called, but I installed it since.
Okay. Anyone would like to name?
Is it Google Goggles? No, never mind. Okay.
Okay.
Google, no, I don't remember.
Ticketmaster, I think, did that last time. Did they take it on the phone for scanning?
Yeah. So I'm kind of a fitness freak, so I use MyFitnessPal to record what I'm eating on daily basis or hourly basis. So first time when I used it, I wanted to see, okay, I have to log my daily entry. It was my breakfast. I clicked on it. I said, wow, this is a fancy barcode scanner over here. And I have to scan my protein bar that I have to eat. So I clicked on the scanner, started searching. So it was talking to the server location, which was on the cloud, and fetching the data. Here you go. All the details are here. So these are the, I would say, functionalities as an end user I'm very much liking to have on my app. However, these functionalities are creating some kind of challenges on the testing side. How many of you have heard about this square? Yeah, almost everyone. Cameras, front side and back side cameras. Orientation. Gestures. What do you think, Larry, about these functionalities?
Well, these are very typical functionality of mobile devices. But I'm more interested to know from the audience that how many of you have ever thought of testing mobile as just a simple piece of testing exercise comparing to testing web-based enterprise applications? Yeah. Okay, now my question is, do you think most of these mobile applications are only the application but no backend? So you pretty much have to also test the backend, right? So we never really just focus on testing the mobile. If we remember a long time ago, transition from testing client-server applications to web-based applications, we went through the whole exercise of creating matrices of testing different CRT screen resolutions, even CPUs, Pentium 1, Pentium 2, Pentium 3s, IE, Netscape, you name it, the whole metrics to test. Now we are transitioning from testing web applications, which is now quite mature, to testing new mobile platforms. So these will become the standard testing exercise that we do, but going forward, I don't think it will be something that we focus on. Whenever we have a mobile applications to test, it becomes something natural that you test, okay, gestures, Bluetooth, syncing data, battery, memory. Those are not new to any one of you, because I suppose everyone here is QA professionals. But just want to point that right now we might still be focusing on testing these, something that we don't do on web-based testing, but on mobile. But going forward, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, we don't even remember that we actually sat here and focus on talking about these.
So from an end user perspective, these are the things, as an end user, I think would be something that I'm looking for. I would like to have my mobile application on my mobile. I am walking with the mobile, I'm walking with the application every time wherever I go. When I use my mobile application on an iPad, it behaves differently, or a different form factor. It behaves differently as compared to using on a phone. If you see these mobile applications, they are made to use the UX size very optimized, in a very optimized way. And I want to make sure that when I'm using an app, it should work perfectly, whether the battery is 100% or whether the battery is at a, say, about to die, the phone is about to die, but the app should be perfectly fine. As well as whether I'm traveling in a bus in a remote location or whether I am in downtown where I see all the cell towers, the application should behave perfectly fine. And my app should use all the onboard sensors that we have discussed in the previous slide. It should be able to use it perfectly. So now, this is from the user perspective. Now hear from Larry about the testing approach.
So these are just some very typical approaches that we use when testing our applications. Of course, first, like I mentioned earlier, we wanted to know the market segment of different devices and different OS so that we can create a compatibility metrics to find the right devices to test on for the mobile apps. We cannot possibly test every single platform devices and OS on Earth. It will be very time consuming, and some of them might not be even important to the market anymore. So first off, we want to create or capture the information from the market, see what majority of the users are using which devices and which OS, and then we will select these important devices and platforms to test the mobile apps on. And then again, these are just a very, very typical approach that we will test our mobile apps, changing from online, offline mode, because most of the time your apps is going to retrieve data from the back end. And what if it doesn't get the data? Does it give you the right error messages, or does it just not read anything and pretend that, okay, you get all the data you need? And different screen size of iOS, they're quite standard. Okay, iPhone, they have Retina display. iPad, they have 2 different screen size. Android, they're just countless different screen size. So we want to make sure that they at least will show up on the devices nicely. Battery, well, honestly, we don't test battery level that much. I think we can put that into the category of data syncing and backup and restoration and all that, because when battery dies, of course, the app will end, and you have to charge up the phone and open up the app again to see if you still have all the data. Network is more or less a performance issue. I'm not too sure if you are aware of built-in developers features in iOS. You can actually play around with different network conditions when you test the app. And of course, backward compatibility. So now we are at Android KitKat. So how about running the app on ice cream sandwich? Does it still work, or does it? Some of the features will work, some of them won't work. And the biggest debate: do you think testing on emulators are enough, or should we always use devices? Depending on your development cycle, maybe sometimes we have to test on the emulators. But at the end, when we do the integration or system testing, we should always test on devices. Usability, well, I don't think we focus too much on the word usability nowadays. We will call that UX testing. But of course, myself, being a tester, I always think that testing usability or user experience. It's just a preference of the tester. Why do I think that the button should be lower right corner but not lower left corner? It's my preference. There's no design theory behind. Of course, there are colors. Okay, you have white background, you have white text. It should not be white text, of course. But a lot of these UX testing, the tester can think of more on a preference level rather than a theory level. And App Store standards. There are some guidelines that App Store, iTunes, or Google Play requires us to be compliant with before they can approve the apps. For iOS, it's pretty much guesswork. It comes from experience, or they can reject your submission without any warning. We will learn from our experience and create some checklist. It's mainly on either the design level. Well, one of the very latest rejection we got was that Apple was complaining that our app is not allowing users to flag inappropriate content. Okay, we never know about that. So, well, it comes from making errors and making mistakes and learning from it. And of course, usual installation and upgrade testing that we used to do a lot when we do desktop application testing. Okay, you install a version of the app, the software, and then you put your CD in and install a new version on top of it, whether it works or not. Same for mobile apps now. So it's quite transparent to users now. If you have Facebook or WhatsApp or Twitter, when they have an update, you see a batch, and maybe App Store will even download that automatically for you. But what if it doesn't work? So as a tester, we should also test that scenario. And of course, there are push notification and messaging. If, let's say you're testing WhatsApp, so okay, we're testing Rupmeet. Will he get a notification? He's using a different platform. I don't even care what platform he uses. He should get a notification right away.
Also, there was a recent example where the iMessages was not working for Apple. So I hope you guys have seen that that in the news, and Apple recently fixed that.
It doesn't work for me 50% of the time anyway. And again, syncing of data. Like I said, all the apps now are relying on some backend, making some web services call to get data from the backend. When you get your data, how big of the data that you get, how fast, how slow you get the data sync. And of course, the very, very popular topic now is privacy and security. You can, all people can just go to iTunes, download an app, and then it comes out in IPA format. It's actually a zip file. You can unzip it and see the content in the app. You cannot change it and put it back onto your phone, but you can see the content. If we don't encrypt data and do proper security settings in when we develop the app, then of course you expose data, maybe credit card, maybe username, maybe just an email address, maybe phone numbers. So when it comes to manual testing and automation, how many of you have done some kind of mobile automation, test automation? How reliable is it for you? Which tool are you using?
That was proprietary tool.
Okay, so UI based or just making service calls?
Hardware took the phones apart and soldered it in.
Good. So today, of course, there are more tools on the market that will allow us to easily do test automation on mobile. Of course, I'm talking about on the UI level, functionality level. There are also unit testing, performance testing, web service call testing. These are all possible even without using any kind of mobile test tools. The traditional Selenium, JMeter, SOAP UI, Load UI, all those tools will still work. And if we have development support, we can always ask developers to write up some harness for us to test too. Just a very generic metrics on what kind of testing we'll do on devices and do it manually or do it with test automation.
So to the audience, those who are doing both manual and automation, are you guys also agreeing to this metrics, or do you follow something else? So is it an agreement? Or you have questions? Yes, please. That would be coming in the next slide.
Well, there are quite a lot of tools coming out to the market, either commercial ones or open source ones. In the last year, let's say, prior to last year, we didn't have too much choice. Maybe it's just Calabash. Perfecto is a paid service. I wouldn't say it's a tool. Of course, there are Monkey Talk now. I think they used to call Phone Monkey or something like that. And then now there are a lot of different commercial tools. Most of the time, QA people want something easy and fast. We don't want to spend a ton of time to write code, to develop something for us to just automate some tests. The commercial tools will definitely help us on that aspect. It comes with a price, of course. But if some QA people have the luxury of borrowing some time from developers, or may even themselves have the technical skills to write code, of course, open source tool will always be my preference too, because it's more flexible and I'm not tied to a provider of the tool, and I don't have to pay the price on licenses every year. Anyone have any experience using any of these tools? Which one do you like best?
I just was using it for Android.
Oh, Renorex, yeah.
How was it? Did you?
Bad experience.
Bad experience, okay. And few others raise their hand.
Well, I used Robotium before,
Yeah.
and I'm looking into UI Automator for Android right now, as well as my key runners. So.
Do you find it
for Android? Is it?
Yeah, for mostly for Android right now.
Have you tried Google Espresso?
No.
Others?
You're using Frank on iOS and Calabash on Android.
So are you happy?
Reliability is always an issue. So we haven't had a chance to explore more options because we have the prior temporal automation already. So sometimes hard to convert to other
Okay. Others would like to share their experience?
Anyone have any experience using test automation to switch contacts? So you do something on the website as the back-end system, and then you do something on the mobile side, and you go back to the website to check. It looks like we're still separating the both. You test the mobile first, and then test the back-end. Or am I confusing you? Okay. Let's say Dropbox. Dropbox has a web interface. Whatever you do in Dropbox web interface, you should be able to see in your app, right? The Dropbox app. So let's say there's a test scenario. I use the web interface to upload a file. And then you have to open up your app to see if you see the file. Of course, manually, we can do it easily. How do we do it in test automation? What kind of tools can we use? I'm posting a question, not like I have an answer.
Use a framework that supports both the tools that you're using for automation.
Yeah.
So if, for example, you're using Selenium if you had existing Selenium test cases, that you could execute some test in that as a preset or a setup for a test that you run with something else like Appian.
Yep.
All the results are coming back to one place.
I don't think I would test both UIs simultaneously in the same test suite. If I need some files in my Dropbox set up for testing the app, I would just use some easy API and program against to set up this little fixture basically, and then test it on the app, and do the same thing for the web page. It doesn't need to be related this way. Test both.
Yeah, good approach too. Good.
Yeah. Okay. So the key learning for today. So do not assume that an app is working on one device, it would work perfectly on another device.
It always works on developers' devices.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.